Okay, folks, this video once again is brought to you by the Stanislaus County Public Library System. We are going to be watching 1967 film Point Blank, starring Lee Marvin, Angie Dickinson, Keenan Wynn, who was in a lot of the Herbie the Love Bug movies and other Disney films, Carol O'Connor, to name a few other people. Hour and 32-minute runtime. This was directed by John Boorman, who was an up-and-coming director at the time. From the director of Deliverance is the tagline on the back of this box here. Interestingly enough, this copy is not rated, but it was very risque for 1967. Marvin plays Walker. That's all. That's it. First name only. Okay, so he's a World War II naval veteran, it looks like. And he gets brought in from an old friend on some sort of heist where they're doing a money drop on Alcatraz Island, and it's a setup, and he's betrayed by his so-called friend who steals his wife and runs off, and then Marvin is left for dead, and then that's kind of the whole movie, is he's going on a quest for vengeance. The friend that would betray him, I recognized him from Animal House. Double secret probation. Lee Marvin plays this kind of quiet character that's on a quest for blood to get vengeance for the money that he was ripped off of and then owed to him. This movie is considered a 60s neo-noir classic. Has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 93%, audience score 83%. It came out a year before Bullet, which to me, this movie pairs nicely with Bullet if you want to watch them back to back. I think Bullet personally is my preferred film. I have seen this movie before. Now that I look back on it, I can remember watching it in the past, but Bullet is the film in a similar genre that resonates more with me, although that's kind of like a crime cop movie. This is more of like a heist movie. Vengeance kind of type of film. Anyway, Marvin was pitched the script and he hated it. He agreed to go sign on for the film if director Boorman was allowed to have creative control. It is adapted from a 1962 Pulp Fiction novel written by some guy named Donald Westlake and adapted for the screen by three people: Alexander Jacobs, David Newhouse, and Raph Newhouse. Don't know if they're related. Didn't care to look it up. It had a $2.5 million budget, and it was very popular at the time. Historically and culturally significant film, inducted into the Library of Congress Film Archives in 2016. It's got a really cool soundtrack fitting to a lot of similar style detective movies of the time. Again, it reminded me a lot of Bullet, although this movie is also considered a cult classic and a cultural icon. Like I mentioned, I think Bullet is the better of the two films. It was captivating. Alcatraz Island, the Presidio, filmed throughout Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. You see the old 6th Street Bridge down in the Los Angeles Viaduct down there. Yeah, so the color of the films of this period, Technicolor filmed in Panavision, I love that. I love that. It's not even a period film. It just takes place in 1967, but I just love watching movies of this time period. Probably my favorite time period for fashion and cars. I do like the stoic Lee Marvin character. Angie Dickinson was really good. There's this one very poignant scene where she freaks out on him and just really slaps him around, and he just stands there stoically and takes it, and she falls in a heap on the floor. It's intense at some parts. There's some rough stuff in this movie for the time. Like I said, it was very risque. One Man's Quest for Revenge, an action classic. So it's all over $93,000. I think the ending was amazing. Vengeance is not always about just getting revenge. Sometimes you just got to learn to let things go. I think that's the message of this movie, is money does not buy happiness. I think that I am more aligned with the 83% score than I am the 93% Rotten Tomatoes score. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. IMDb is 7.2 out of 10. It is, like I said, it's considered a classic. It's just not my favorite of that era. Did like Marvin, did like Dickinson. I liked the kind of comedic vibe of the Carol O'Connor character. And I am a huge fan of Keenan Wynn because of my Disney upbringing of live-action 60s Disney films. You see him in absent-minded professor, the son of Flubber. He's always a villainous kind of a guy, and he plays a villainous kind of a guy in this movie too. But not the main villain. There's a lot of bad people in this movie, and they get their just desserts. So that's my review. Thanks for watching. I would recommend checking out Point Blank. Again, another movie that popped up on a recommendation on a reel on Facebook. And I'm glad I rewatched it. I think it's probably been at least 15 to 20 years since I watched this movie. Probably I saw this movie on Turner Classic Movies in my late teens. And this, on the box, it does say Turner Entertainment Co. So that would just kind of solidify this as a TCM viewing in my late teens or early 20s. But I'm glad I revisited it. Enjoyable film for a Sunday afternoon. Thanks for watching.